Pac-12 up first on Friday. Utah looking to earn a spot in the college football playoff with a statement win over Oregon. Turns out the Ducks had other ideas. Quack, quack.
Nice.
Ducks and Utes, oh my, from Santa Clara, California. Utes coming in on an 8-game winning streak. Oregon, though, owns the series 22-10 all time. Justin Herbert playing in his Pac-12 finale, perhaps a first-round pick in next year's NFL draft. First Oregon drive, handed off to C.J. Verdell. Ducks make it 7-0. Ensuing Utah possession. 3rd and 6, Tyler Huntley to Brant Kuithe. Great catch, but not inbounds. Next Utah possession. 3rd and 4. Zach Moss up the middle, but he's short of the first down. There's a theme here, not converting on 3rd down. Early second, 3rd and 7. Huntley nowhere to go. Brought down. Utah 0 for 6 on 3rd down in the first half. Following Oregon possession, Justin Herbert to Johnny Johnson III on 1st and 10. They're going to get a first down, and they're going to get more than that. A touchdown, 45-yard scoring strike, and the Ducks have a 17-0 lead. Largest Utah deficit this season, down 20-0 at halftime. Utah giving up its most points and yards allowed in any half this season. First Utah drive of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 10, Huntley to Solomon Enis, fighting his way for the first down. First 3rd down conversion for the Utes. Ensuing play, Huntley to Moss, 24 yards. And Utah finds the end zone. Makes it a 20-7 game. Late 3rd quarter. 3rd and 10, Huntley to Samson Nacua. Great grab over the shoulder, 25-yard touchdown. And Utah makes it a 23-13 game. We're going for 2, and we're going to convert. Back to Nacua. And it's a 1-score game. Utah down 23-15. Mid-4th, 3rd and 1. Verdell. Oh, breaking through, breaking hearts. 70 yards to the house. Oregon up 30-15. C.J. Verdell, have yourself a day, kid. Late 4th quarter, seal the deal. 31 yards. 3 touchdowns in this game for C.J. Verdell. The sophomore steals the show. It was Zach Moss, the heralded running back in this game. The senior, no touchdowns for him in this game in terms of rushing. He receives it. He gets a receiving touchdown. He runs for 113 yards, 57 through the air, but C.J. Verdell steals the show. 18 carries, 208 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Oregon routs Utah 37-15. Utah has now lost back-to-back Pac-12 championships. Lost to Washington last year, now lose to Oregon. So Oregon plus 6.5. Kenny White told you to take Oregon on Sportsline. Take those 6.5 points. They didn't even need it. They win outright, and they win by 22 points. It's a statement win. The over cashes. Now Oregon on to the Rose Bowl. And for more, we now welcome in CBS Sports college football bowl expert, Jerry Palm. And Jerry, I want to start here in terms of the result of this game. It's surprising to say the least because we had valued Utah so much. But going into the Pac-12 championship, did the committee overvalue Utah?
Well, I thought they had a little bit because this was one of those style over substance picks. But, that they have been consistent in counting, margin of victory, how you dominate your schedule. Utah has done that all season long. Then they come across today against an Oregon team that was on fire and just laid it to them. And I don't think they're going to overvalue them anymore. The question now for Utah is, how far will they fall? They'll definitely be behind Oregon, who figures to move up, but will they fall behind Wisconsin? Will they fall behind Florida? Will they fall behind Penn State and out of the New Year's Six altogether? That's a possibility. I don't think so, but that's a possibility. I mean, they could get the same treatment that Alabama got after they dominated the schedule but lost to the only 2 teams they played in the rankings. They didn't get dropped until they lost that second game. Well, that just happened to Utah as well. So we'll have to see. But 11-2 is different than 10-2. That's why I think Utah will probably stay up high enough to be able to play in the Cotton Bowl.
So if you're on the committee, you're putting Utah in a New Year's Six game.
Yeah, I believe they will. Now, me personally, if I was a member of the committee, I don't know. I probably would, but I think the committee as a whole will do that. They have a history of being kind to conference championship game losers. That traditionally goes for the underdogs losing those games, but still 11-2 is better than 10-2. And I think in the end, Utah will stay up high enough to get into a Cotton Bowl game.
Of course, this result helps the Big 12 as Baylor and Oklahoma play the Big 12 championship on Saturday in Arlington. Is there any other situation that the Big 12 can get into the playoff besides a Georgia loss?
Yeah, Clemson loss. One of the two has to lose in order to open the door for the Big 12 champion to get in. If either one of them loses, the Big 12 champion will make the playoff. Clemson, it would be interesting because, they've dominated so much of this season against a really bad schedule relative to these other teams. This will be their first game this week against a team that's still in the rankings. So, if Clemson loses, as a 28-point favorite, they're probably not going to make the playoff. But the Big 12 champion is going to get in if Clemson loses or if Georgia loses. If they were to both lose, the Big 12 champion is number 3. Then we see who's 4.
So in terms of how the committee is going to decide about this, right, would the committee be willing to keep out a conference champ in favor of a team that lost its conference championship?
Probably not. However, if the team that lost their conference championship is Ohio State or LSU, then yes, those two teams are going to make the playoff. If it's Clemson, if it's Georgia, no, I think the Big 12 champion's getting in ahead of them. But it really depends on who you're being compared to in the situation you're talking about. There's no hard and fast rule. You're really just being judged on your entire season. Ohio State, and in particular, and LSU have been so dominant against a really good schedule. There's just no way for them to miss the playoff. The Big 12 champion could get in if Georgia loses or Clemson loses, but there's a possibility that one of those teams could still get in.
In terms of how this is all going to play out, when all is said and done, Jerry, how do you see everything playing out this weekend in terms of the 4 teams?
Well, it's the way I've had it for quite a while now. Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, and Oklahoma. I believe Oklahoma will beat Baylor and cover the almost 10-point spread and make a statement that they belong in the playoff.
All right, there you have it. Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, and Oklahoma will be in the college football playoff, according to CBS Sports Bowl expert Jerry Palm. Jerry, great stuff as always. Look forward to talking to you this weekend. All right, so here it is. Jerry Palm's updated projection for the college football playoff. You heard him, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, and right now it's Georgia. But Georgia loses, Oklahoma moves up into the 4th spot. And of course, Baylor would move up in terms of the college football playoff picture.